and never stay calm. One of these days I'll take that 2 o'clock train, go down south where I belong. Down them tracks nice and slow, Lord, I'm leaving Colorado. Let the hot desert winds push me along.
love, sex, and intimate casualties. Your future is frozen. The ethers of signs is well immersed in ever-present light. I'll take it with me away. Back up on me, let's go. Let's not see. Oh, you're slipping away and your eyes closed. You'll be alright. Oh, and move, shake, move. Back up on me, let's go. Let's not see. Oh, you're slipping away and your eyes closed. You'll be alright. Oh, and back up on me, let's go. Let's not see. Oh, you're slipping away and your eyes closed. You'll be alright. Oh, and move, shake, move.
Big Peter Meal.
Ooh-wee. Got me feeling like I'm in 1920 or something. In the heart of Renaissance. At the Cotton Club or some shit. This is a Beta Mills production.
Big Peter Meals.
T-Rizzle, the country bizzle. Country boy. Country. For sure. And it goes something like this.
Big Peter Meals.
My stocks up, still scheming on my bottom bride. And I can take your bitch simple with a head nod. Cause I'm something like a pimpy, lame like a duck. Going broke, go to that bitch, better get your game up. For the money, I sell swag weed. Orange peels in the elbow just to keep it fluffy. Break it down into dubs, push it straight out the shop. 24.50 profit, I ain't talking to no cops. And I got bitches on my waist like belt loops. Keep a cooler close to me, call me Luke Dude. And I don't pay it to no club, I know the password. Last night I knocked her off, next night I passed her. Who's the man who looks stunning in the suit? Polo symbol on left kitty, now who see who got the juice? Meal talk, tough guys, spit nothing but the truth. You on the bottom like sidewalk, I'm on the top like the roof.
Peter Meals.
And there it is. Another Beta Mills production. Beta Mills. Holla at your boy if you need some beats and some videos. T-Rizzle, the country bizzle, back in the house like Beta
Peter Meals.
and it goes something like this. Hit it.
your freedom for yourself. Mother, come my way. Oh, mother, come to me. Oh, yeah, I will set you free.
Trapped inside my clouds aside to bring forth those who wonder why. Those who wonder why. What's the clouds aside?
the hot desert winds push
What's up, everybody? And well, thanks for people for coming out. I'm Tarris Horton for AskTarrisHorton.com, and I'm here with the world famous, diabolical Shannon. Show me the money, Smith. How are you, Shannon?
Doing pretty good right now. How are you?
I'm amazing. Thanks for being my co-host today.
Thanks for inviting me. I really appreciate it.
Awesome. Tell me a little bit about what you have going on in the city of Covington and just what you're doing in general.
Sure. So I'm a city commissioner, love local business, support local business, working on something myself. A lot of exciting businesses around here that I'm supporting, and I just want to shout out to, Ripple, who's coming down,
Yes,
Libby's
Ripple.
that's coming down.
Libby's.
We've got we've got Frida's and we've got Autos out on Mainstrasse.
Yes,
So,
Mainstrasse.
just generally trying to support those local businesses. That's what's on my radar. And as an aside, that no one's interested in, but some people are interested in. Feral cats. That's on the radar.
Feral cats are on the radar.
Yeah, we're gonna address that real good.
Okay, so feral cats are on the radar for the city of Covington, Kentucky. AskTarrisHorton.com is a podcast that was originated right here in Covington, Kentucky, and it was originated to kind of raise awareness on some things that we were missing the focus on. So over 1 million reacts later, here we are live in Braxton Brewery garage, and just pretty happy to be here. Like Shannon was saying, we have Ripple, the owners, Matt and Kat from Ripple Wine Bar, which is on Pike Street, and we also have Libby's Southern Comfort, which is on 7th, it's not on 7th, it's on 9th. Right behind us, actually, it's Libby's Southern Comfort. Well, actually behind us, they're brewing Braxton Brewery right here in Kentucky. So, what else you got, Shannon?
What'd you say? What else I got?
What else do you have for us?
I have a lot of things.
All right.
So, Oktoberfest is coming up, if people don't know.
Yes, Oktoberfest in Mainstrasse Village, correct?
Correct.
At Goebel Park?
I do believe so. And Riverfest is coming up as well.
Riverfest, yes. That's fireworks, correct?
Fireworks, lots of them.
Lots of fireworks. The Oktoberfest, that kind of was going down, correct? And then Braxton Brewery came in, and Braxton and the guys from Braxton, which do a very lot for Covington and the tri-state area, they came through and said, okay, we want to revitalize or not lose the Oktoberfest. So they came in and helped. Was it Casey Snyder who's throwing this, or?
Well, Casey's supporting it. I know that Jake and Evan are the ones that are spearheading it, and they're trying to present a festival that's sustainable and palatable and just perfect for the area, and we'll grow from there. But we just want to make sure that we're reaching all the folks of Covington and make sure that they like it. If they don't, let's talk about it. But we want to make a festival that's good for all.
And that's something that Covington is really good about. We really want to hear what the people have to say. We are here for it. Shannon, of course, city commissioner of Covington, and she's always available. She's the first person that everybody comes to whenever they have something negative or bad to say. But I would encourage the Covington residents to give Shannon some positive feedback also. There's been a lot of positive change going on in Covington in the past couple years, and Shannon has spearheaded a lot of it. So let's give her some positive feedback sometimes also, if that could be a request from myself.
You can give me both, and I really do appreciate it, because if you don't tell me what you need, I can't give it to you. So there's been a lot of positive feedback about a lot of issues. You can always reach me. If you just look online, you can find out, and we can holler about that later. But I really want to talk about the local businesses that we're getting ready to introduce in the environment. Right. And why don't you talk about Tarris? Actually, I'm really interested, Tarris, what drew you to the area. And I think it's something similar, but maybe a little bit different about the people that came a couple years later.
Okay. So. Whenever Cutman Barbershop, I was in Latonia, Kentucky, which is dear to my heart. And I came to Covington because Jared Theobald, he recruited me to come. He had a vision for Covington and said, we want to raise the bar of the people in Covington and the businesses that come in here, because there was a lot of mom and pop stores, pawn shops, just secondhand stores that we wanted to raise the bar. So Braxton came in, raised the bar up high, and then Cutman Barbershop, myself and Jared, we raised the bar pretty high because we wanted people to come in after us to say, okay, it is possible in Covington. It's not what you think. and it's just work. And then Hannaford came in, they raised the bar pretty high. Hotel Covington has held that, raised the bar high. Ripple's coming in, Libby's. We've all kind of came together and made sure that Covington was a place to go for all walks of life. We don't discriminate against gender, color, sexual preference, any of that kind of stuff. We are one big happy family down here and we don't tolerate any of that nonsense either. So if you're on that nonsense, stay on away from Covington, or at least please stay away from me. But but Covington, the temperature in Covington, the water is warm and it feels really nice. If you've been on the fence about coming to Covington, this is Tarris, because I was the most interesting man in Covington, Kentucky. But I gave myself a promotion, and now I am the most interesting man in the Commonwealth of Kentucky, because I've outgrown Covington as far as like my reach, because I want to touch Hardin County and Letcher County and Pike County and Harlan County and Meade County, like all 120 counties in Kentucky. I want to have a presence there. Ask TarrisHorton.com. If you need anything, go to the local barber shop. Tell your local barber to contact me, and we will send someone or have something that you can get a hold of me, and we'll make it happen.
That's right.
Is that what you wanted to hear?
That's almost everything that I wanted to hear.
What more?
But your local barber is where you hear the most real information, and that's what's so cool. And that's what's so cool about Tarris expanding his brand beyond here, is because Hardin County is going to get to hear about that and benefit from his experience. And there's going to be so many other businesses that I think that will expound upon what you're doing, and that's what I'm so excited about.
Yeah, well, thanks. Your encouragement helps me, and I appreciate that. You encourage me to dream big and do big things. Even when it doesn't look very big, it's really, really big. We got a lot of good things going on here in Covington, Kentucky. But like I said, this is Tarris is going larger than Covington. And if you're a business out there and you would like for myself to come and hold a podcast here, I will be more than glad to come and do it and bring the crew with me, and we'll make sure it's awesome and very well produced and live and on time and all that good stuff.
Yeah.
So I can't wait to jump into this podcast and just talk about what we have going on for our community for this week. So Shannon, you're an FC Cincinnati soccer fan, correct?
Correct.
So how do you feel about them coming to our area and their direct effect on northern Kentucky and the Cincinnati area?
Oh, for sure. So a lot of people don't know, but I was a former professional athlete, played soccer, played around the world, and I actually relocated to Cincinnati for the purpose of playing soccer, because this is about 10 years ago. It was actually a hotbed for soccer. And what I ended up finding out is that the professional league for women wasn't coming, but the professional league for men was. So I played in I believe it was NSL, the National Soccer League, which was FCC's league prior to the MLS. And then when they were in that league, and just to give you guys an idea, the guys team that was associated with our team, we had about 400 people in the audience, which is, I mean, he's laughing, but that's an actual thing.
It's awesome.
And now the same league is drawing nearly 20,000 fans plus, and now they're able to enter the professional league, which is an incredible development. It's also a testament to our United States soccer program, and it's going to be elevated. It's super exciting, particularly FCC. I'm just absolutely floored by the support. So yeah, huge fan, and we will continue to grow. I'm so excited about it.
The thing about FCC that I liked about that you touched on a little bit is both of us played soccer growing up in Elizabethtown, Kentucky, Hardin County, the United States of America. Both of us did.
Panthers.
So, but it was different whenever I came up playing soccer, because soccer was not as prevalent, and all the football players would make fun of us and all that kind of things. I could only imagine what women's soccer has to go through, and then you being able to push through all that. And now women's soccer, where it's at, I would say that women's soccer, if not is more popular than men's soccer, I'd say they brought us a World Cup, and that's pretty huge.
Women's soccer has become more palatable for sure, but just like an interesting note, when I was playing a few years ago in Europe, one of the things that came up was a trade of women's players, and In case you're not aware, women's soccer players don't make a lot of money. And whenever I was overseas and I was playing, I actually had a teammate that was traded for a bag of soccer balls. And it's obviously substantially changed. I mean, the United States women's soccer team has made, great funds, and they play the Spanish national team. But when I was playing in the professional league in Spain, and I was talking to some of the Spanish national team players, they weren't just living paycheck to paycheck. They were, working multiple jobs. So the change has been absolutely incredible. I'm so excited about it. And I really believe that the change here in Cincinnati and the belief is going to change that narrative, and it's not just going to affect our male soccer players. It's going to affect our females, because I know we have a lot of badass gals around there, and I'm excited to see you play.
Awesome. And there's great soccer programs in the northern Kentucky area. King's Hammer, I know my son plays for King's Hammer and Town and Country, and they do a phenomenal job of cultivating the young youth and making sure that they have something to do to keep them active. And that's what, one of my personal goals is to make sure that the youth, and not just the youth, but people have creative outlets, things to do. Art is one big thing. There's other places like Burkus Circus, Burkus Brewery. They have a great outreach program that they touch people's lives, and I'm really huge on live touching and touching people that you can, and just happy to be a part of that movement.
Me too.
Just love you, Shannon. So, I guess we're going to get into the next part of the programming, and we will be back in 5 minutes. See you soon. Check. I guess we're back. Tarris Horton here for AskTarrisHorton.com. I'm not used to doing the things because I can usually go back and edit them. But I will go back and edit these also. TarrisHorton.com. Ask Tarris Horton. It started as a grassroots movement, a podcast right here in Covington, Kentucky. It's a funny story. When I quit drinking and I got sick. And after I got sick from stop drinking, I was in the hospital for a long time. And then when I got out of the hospital and I got well, I was like, I'm going to make a podcast and I'm going to change the world. And everybody thought I was crazy. Like, you're going to change the world. But then I started this thing called Top 10 Facebook Posts of the Week. And it went viral. And everybody liked the Top 10 Facebook Posts of the Week. And I was getting thousands and thousands of views. So I told myself, okay, I've got an audience where I can reach all these people. How can I change the world? And then I thought, what are my major problems and beef with things going on around me? And the thing that I had the most problem with, there's a few things. Well, the first thing was the industrial complex system. Is how they would take people and pretty much get them ready from high school, middle school, by putting them in detention and then getting them ready to go to jail. I had a big deal with that. Then I was able to work with Vaughn Jones, Robert Kraft from the New England Patriots, and Jay-Z. I was able to work with them guys and be the liaison for Kentucky. And then I was able to have friends just like Rob Sanders who listen. He listens whenever he was like, okay, a lot of people want to bring diversity to the table, but whenever diversity comes to the table, they don't. I'm peeking in and out. They want to listen, but Rob Sanders he listened, and then he even taught me. He was like, it's not about the industrial complex system, Tarris. It's about reforming people while they're in jail and rehabilitating and reforming them in society. So that's what they started working on. Check mark, that's over. Second thing that I had a problem with is racism. And I grew up in a family where we did not see color, and I was around other people that don't see color also. We four-wheeled, and we frog-gigged, and we tipped over cows and went through manure and all that kind of stuff. And we didn't see each other. We saw each other for what's inside our heart. So being in Cincinnati and the Covington area, people might not realize it, but it's one of the most segregated areas in the nation. So when I touch on subjects like racism, it's not because I'm racist or I think that you're racist. I think that it's something that is holding our country back from being truly the greatest country that we can be. When Trump says make America great again, you can take that for however you want to take it. I'm taking it for what can I personally do to change. That's why I'm always poking the bear and stepping on boundaries that people can't say. Just today, I went to breakfast and someone walked up to me. He's like, Tarris, thank you, because I can't say those things, because if I raised awareness to the things that you're raising awareness to, I would lose my job. So that's why I'm doing it. That's the second thing. The third thing is for men's rights. It's a man's inherent want and need to be a father to their children, to be able to do that. I lost myself in alcoholism, and I'm able to step up and say what I did wrong. But I'm here now banding together with lots of other fathers out there who don't know anything about the court system or the justice system, those things. So we're going to raise awareness and use the platform of AskTarrisHorton.com to do so. At one time, I was the most interesting man in Covington, Kentucky, but I outgrew Covington, Kentucky, for one. And Covington has a lot of other good things going on. And I have a couple of people with me. Ripple Wine Bar, which is right across the street from the barbershop, which is excellent food. I don't know whether it's a great wine bar or a great restaurant because I don't drink anymore, but I know the food is amazing, and I go there 2 or 3 times a week, but I don't mind. And then I have my good friends from Libby's Southern Comfort with their fried chicken. I'm telling you, that fried chicken, everybody's talking about Popeyes and Chick-fil-A. You guys can keep all that mess. Because right here in Covington, Kentucky, the United States of America, we have the best fried chicken. Another thing that I want, how much am I doing on time, guys? I got to go. I'm 5 minutes, good. I can go over my AskTarrisHorton.com walk with me, my 1 minute things that are absolutely crazy. Like the other day, I told this homeless guy, to go get a GD job because I was tired of him asking me for money. I gave him some money. What happened was he walked up on me. I wasn't having a bad day either. I was actually having a really good day. And he walked up on me and he handed me a note. And the note says, "Can I have some change? Anything will help." So I said, okay. So I reached in my pocket and I had about $1.50. Where I'm from, that's a pop, Charleston Chew. You might get a couple pouches of some dip from your buddy. $1.50 is a lot where I'm from. And this dude said to me, he said, "That's all you got?" It sent me to a whole nother dimension. I'm like, I work 2 jobs, and I don't have to work 2 jobs. I worked 2 jobs, and I got off work, and I went to DJ somewhere else for a charity that I'm starting. And right now, in my lifetime, I can't think of a more vibrant, bubbling economy. You can get a job. I know several people who are hiring, and this guy comes to me and says the money that I work hard for, my $1.50, wasn't good enough for him. So I cussed him out and told him to go get a GD job. And I don't regret it. And other people have been patting me on the back and saying, "Hey, Tarris, sometimes I want to say the same things, but I couldn't." And that's what TarrisHorton.com is for, is for me to say some things that some people are afraid to say. My mom told me whenever I was telling her I was going live, she told me I wasn't allowed to cuss tonight, so I won't be using any cuss words in this podcast. But that's the AskTarrisHorton.com spiel for you. This is Tarris. I'm live at Braxton Brewery right behind me. They are making beer right here in Kentucky, the United States of America. We have my good friend DJ Zan, part of the Academy, out there DJing. And coming up right after this break, I will have Brad Wainscott from Libby's Fried Chicken right here in Covington, Kentucky, the United States of America. And we'll be right back with you in about 5 minutes. See ya. And we're back here live at Braxton Brewery, the garage. We were supposed to be on the rooftop, but the inclement weather kept us from doing that. I'm here today with the famous Brad Wainscott from Libby Southern Comfort Fried
Applause,
Chicken.
y'all.
Thanks, Tarris. Appreciate you having me. Thank you.
So we'll just jump right into it. I heard Toby Keith came to town and ordered your fried chicken. What happened there, man?
He did. We have a mutual friend that sent me a message probably 2 or 3 weeks ago saying he wanted to get fried chicken for Toby Keith and his crew. And I hadn't heard from him. And the day of his concert, he sent me a message and said, "Hey, Toby Keith's on his way down to Libby's." And I was like, he's on his way right now? His show's tonight. And so I was at home. We started to head down that way, and he called me back, and he said, "Sorry, traffic's too bad." Yeah. So
He was playing at Riverbend, correct?
he was playing at BB&T Arena.
Okay, out of
Yeah.
NKU.
Yeah, so we turned around and went home because the traffic was too bad and he had to get over there or whatever. But and then his bodyguard called and asked if we could bring it over. So we brought it over there and got to meet him, hang out on the bus.
What was his tour bus like? Did he have it all pimped out? Did he have like queen size bed and 60-inch TVs and?
You know, I've never been like in a tour bus like that or anything, but there was about 8 of them, and they were all pretty similar to his, which was unbelievable on the inside.
8 tour buses or 8 people?
8 tour buses.
Oh, wow.
And then there
What
was
is Toby Keith?
What's that?
I said it is Toby Keith.
Right.
But he's a superstar.
Yeah. So and then there was like 4 tractor trailers, I guess, with all his equipment and everything. But we just walked in and walked into the bus, and he came strolling out and had his dog with him, and we just hung out, talked to him for a while.
Came strolling out where? I just have to ask. You said he just came strolling out. Where?
Well, his assistant came out and helped us carry the chicken, and we walked into the tour bus, and he was all
an actual chicken?
the fried chicken.
Okay,
Yeah.
I just had to ask.
So we walked up the steps onto the bus, and then he came walking all the way out from the back of the
so
bus.
cool. Yeah, so cool.
He was really nice, though. Libby, my daughter, was with me, and my wife Michelle, and he was completely cool as could be, man.
What was the first piece of fried chicken? Because I'm a dark meat, especially at Libby's. I could take one of your whole legs and just destroy it. What was his go-to piece of chicken?
You know what? We hung out there for a little bit and talked to him and everything. And we were like, well, we better get going because you got to get ready for the show. And they were like, oh, you're fine. But I didn't think they were, so we kind of took off. So he didn't eat the chicken in front of us. Yeah. But we got a call about an hour after we left saying that it was a big hit.
Yeah, good.
Would it be safe to say that you and Toby Keith are pretty good friends now?
Well, I knew him a little bit from Lexington.
Okay.
He's in the horse business a little bit too.
Nice.
So my sister's restaurant in Lexington, he would come in all the time and eat stuff.
So he knew about the family tradition of food in your family.
Yeah, he did. Yeah.
So that means you guys are pretty good friends. Anybody eats my mama's fried chicken or daddy's fried chicken, we're boys. If you've ever eaten my mom's fried chicken, we're homies.
I do. I have to interrupt because I do have a question. You and I spoke about your business and your aspirations, and I was so excited for you. And I'm just so curious, what made you decide to come to Covington? Like, what was the selling factor? How do you feel about it? How do you feel about it moving forward?
We had always, I had always wanted my own place. I've been doing this for 20 plus years, and I come from a big family. And the last restaurant I worked at for my family or whatever was in Burlington, Kentucky. And I always said if I could just pick up this building and move it to Covington, it would be off the chain all the time. So coming from a big family and trying to keep everybody happy in the family.
Yeah.
In a family business is very difficult. So we finally just decided that we needed to go out on our own. And my wife's got background in the restaurant business as well.
For sure.
And with my experience, I thought we had a pretty good chance. And Covington's pretty awesome, so we fell right into it.
I think you've done a great job with your wait staff. I mean, you can't talk enough about when you walk into Libby's, the experience that you get. From Kelly to Camille to everybody who, even the food runner guys, they're just like so polite. I mean, is that something that's purposely done when you handpick them? Do you? I mean, because I know with the barber shop, I always have a conversation with potential barbers. I'm like, hey, we're setting the bar up here, so if you can't meet the bar that's set up here, this might not be a good fit. Is that something that goes on in your orientation process?
Well, I'll tell you what, it's a smaller place, so it's almost like a little family. You know, everybody that works there, everybody gets to know each other, and that's kind of the way we like things to happen with the customers as well. The closer we can be with all the customers, you know, the better I think the restaurant can be. And, you know, it's everybody that comes in there, the customers, the employees, everybody is just, you know, unbelievable.
And I totally agree, and I have to jump in because, you know, I haven't had. I'm so busy. I'm an entrepreneur myself, but I've had an opportunity to visit Libby's. Libby's has been great, but the one thing that stands out is because it's the Midwestern Southern comfort service that you get. And it is unparalleled, and that's the one thing that stood out to me, because sometimes when you go to a restaurant up here and you say, hey, this isn't exactly right, the response is, all right. But at Libby's, it's like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry, let me make sure that you're getting great service. And that's what Midwest is about. It's great service, it's great food, and it's a great atmosphere, and that's why I love Libby's. And that's why I think that you've done such a great job. And I'm just curious, can you provide some advice for some local restaurants that are just trying to replicate a remote like fraction of what you're doing? Because it's been successful. So, you know, any advice that you can give to a restaurant that's trying to do what you're doing would be great.
Well, thanks for the kind words, first of all. You know, I don't know. For me, maybe part of it comes second nature just from doing it so long. But the help and the employees is, you know, a huge part of it.
Sure.
But it's one of those things where, you know, I'm sure you know, it's blood, sweat, and tears.
A lot.
Just because I might not
But
be.
not in your food.
Right. I mean, just because I might not be there one night doesn't mean that I'm not like constantly. And
You have cameras on your phone? I know I do. I can watch my stuff right from my phone.
Oh yeah, they're on there.
They are. I just want to. I know. I'm sure that we're running short on time, but there's one thing that I want to throw out there as an entrepreneur. The things that you experience as an individual are one thing, but then there's a secondary familial. And I think that you have an incredible family that's been incredibly supportive of what you're doing. And I just wanted to give you an opportunity to just talk a little bit about that, because I sincerely, I've seen all the Facebook posts and things like that. I just want you to, you know, take a second and talk about that.
Well, you know, it's not always butterflies and roses. I've definitely made a lot of mistakes in my life, and actually share something with you, Tarris. You know, I don't drink anymore either.
My sober brother.
But you know, I'm lucky enough to still have my family under my roof, my kids, my wife, and everything happens for a reason. I would not be in Covington. I would not own Libby's if it weren't for everything that's happened to me. And I think that's one thing that keeps me humble and grateful for everything. It's just, I would never change anything that's happened in my past.
I'm happy that you said that, and I think that that's your appeal, and I respect the heck out of you, and I respect both of you actually for what you share and what you have shared and what you've done in your successes, because I think so many people are going to build on that, and I thank you guys so much. I think you're so brave and strong, and I look up to both of you, so thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah. For sure.
Well, that was awesome, and thanks, Brad, for taking time out of your
Thank you,
day,
Tarris.
and coming and being a part of this. And I got to tell you, from the first moment that I even said to Brad, "Hey, I'm going to open this community center, and I want to use Libby's patio to come and play music for free, and do donations, and just take donations." And then at the end of the night, Kelly walks up to me and hands me the first ever donation received for Mike Galvin's Community Center for Creatives that's going to be here in Covington, Kentucky. And it came straight from Brad Wainscott and the Libby's family. And I want to personally thank you for that, sir.
Thank you. And before I go, I want to thank you both, too, for being such
Thank
huge
you.
advocates for Covington and everything you all do. You guys are awesome.
Thank you.
Well, thank you. We'll be back in 5 minutes. And welcome back. And this is Tarris Horton for AskTarrisHorton.com. I am here with Matt and Kathleen Haws, owners of Ripple Wine Bar, which is my neighbors. And let me tell you how excited I was whenever they first moved into the neighborhood. I was like, a wine bar? I don't drink, because I was being very, very selfish. And then I smelt this aroma coming out the doors one day. And I walked in, and Will was cooking. And then I tasted the shrimp nachos, and it was over and done with. And I've been there 2 or 3 times a week ever since. So welcome, everybody, Matt and Kathleen Haws.
Thank you for having us.
Thanks, Tarris. Thanks, Shannon. We're happy to be here.
Awesome. Well, tell us a little bit about the wine season coming up and some things that you have guys going on.
Yeah.
Well, Tarris and Shannon, we like to think that there isn't one particular wine season, that all wine can be enjoyed throughout the year. But to your point, we traditionally we see a spike in maybe red wine consumption in the cooler months in fall and in winter. But also to your point, you start to hear the word crush tossed around in the wine world right now, right about this time of year. And that's because in California or really any vineyard that's located above the equator, they're going through harvest or crush right now, which is the first part of the process to turn the grapes into wine. So they're actually picking the grapes from the vineyards. So it's a really exciting time for anybody in wine country. I think right now that happens between August and November to just start the process to turn those beautiful grapes into a lot of award-winning wines.
That's pretty awesome. There's something different about your guys' wine, about how you distribute it to the client. I mean, it's something really can you explain a little bit what's different about how you guys do it different than anybody else?
Can I actually piggyback on that before you totally ask that question? It's not only their distribution. I believe it's that their knowledge is different than any other. There's no one in the Central Business District in Covington that does what they do. And I don't believe there's anyone in the region that offers what they offer. And I want them to share what they offer and their experience so you guys can understand exactly what it is that they do that you alluded to. So if you can do that, Matt, that would be great.
I can do that. We bought this enormous Cruvenet system, and it's pretty amazing because it's actually like a car sitting in the middle of our bar. It's a $30,000 piece of equipment that completely preserves the wine and also temperature controls it, which is the beautiful thing. I mean, you have red wine coming out of our taps. Actually, it comes right out of the bottle. It's extracted with nitrogen, and it's 65 degrees, which is like cellar temperature, and that's what you want. I didn't even realize it until I've been drinking so much of our own wine. That
Very good.
How wonderful it is at 65 degrees. It's way different. A lot of restaurants serve it on their back bar. That is probably 75 degrees by the time it gets to you, and it is such a difference drinking our wine at these temperatures. And then white wine is temperature controlled at 30 to 40 degrees. That 38 degrees to 44 is where you want white wine, and it is, a lot of places serve it way too cold, so you can't taste it. So it brings out all the tastes that you want, and you get a lot from the wine.
And I think that that's such a unique thing that you all offer, is a distinction between white and red, and then nuances between each. And we
serve it by half glass, half
that
bottle,
was the thing that
and
I
bottle.
wanted you to talk about.
So
Can you talk about that, please?
That's what's wonderful about it. You can also, we have over 40 wines by the glass. You can taste through the whole thing. It's a good thing.
Well, if I'm not mistaken, are you guys going to be pairing wines with desserts? Is there something going on? Because I'm gonna come and get all the desserts. And I have a suggestion.
Desserts,
you said
all
something
the
about s'mores, but I'm like key lime pie with a wine.
Wrong season, man.
Well, we are, you know, we've
Gotta go to Key
been,
West.
yeah, we've been open for just over 4 months now. Now that we have the operation down, it's time to really start using our knowledge and our experience and teaching our guests and teaching both residents and visitors of Covington more about what we know and what we love about wine. Not just how wine tastes, but how it pairs well with food. So we're going to be launching our event program here at the end of September. We'll be hosting a few wine dinners and a few wine tastings, one of which will be a tasting that pairs several different types of gourmet s'mores with
Awesome.
wine, both red and white. You'd be surprised how some of those flavors can really change your wine and change your outlook on pairings altogether.
Which is great, and I just have to piggyback on you for a moment. The cool thing about Ripple is it's somewhere where you can feel comfortable asking questions.
Yes.
And feel comfortable having experiences, and that's what I think that Ripple offers is a wide breadth of experiences and two or three people that talk to you about how you should approach this. There's no judgment. It's very comfortable, and a lot of people that I've spoken with that want to experience wine, they're so scared. They're scared in the environment that you guys offer, but I want them to know when you walk into Ripple, you're gonna have an experience that's not just tailored but non-judgmental, and I think that that's what you guys can portray. I think that's what you do, and if you have any other additions to that, I think you can just speak to it.
I personally love having you guys as my neighbors. And if you guys don't mind, talk a little bit about your menu, because it's a little bit different.
Yeah.
In being a barber, and every time they ask me to explain Ripple's menu, first thing I say is shrimp nachos. Could you expand a little bit on your menu and what makes it different than any other menu in the city?
Well, what's mostly different is we have no hood system, we have no fryer, we have no. We have an amazing chef, Will Smith. He really raises the bar, so to say, like you were saying before, about what you want, and the food is it's fresh. It's made every day. I mean, we literally have practically like a grocery store delivery every day. It's broken down and prepped, and it's sold. It's about as fresh as you get. You know, the chimichurri's homemade, the pico de gallo is homemade. You know and that's what makes the difference.
And I have to ask just a quick question. I know you have something to say, but is it charcuterie?
I was going to say the same thing.
I mean, it's a beautiful.
It's
beautiful
charcuterie.
thing. All
No,
right, everyone.
it's charcuterie.
Everyone. If
Charcuterie.
you're listening and you come to Ripple or wherever the hell you are, it's
Charcuterie.
Charcuterie.
And if you mispronounce it, we're not going to judge you. And if you mispronounce
That's right.
the wine, we're not going to judge you. The whole reason we opened was to shed the reputation that wine is pretentious or above you.
It's approachable.
It is approachable, and we want you to taste and to learn both our wine and our food and learn how to pair those together. And we'll guide you, and our staff has been trained to guide you in that way too. Don't be afraid to ask questions. Don't be afraid to mispronounce anything.
awesome.
And wine is all subjective.
It's a meat and
That's
cheese
right.
board.
Charcuterie is a meat and cheese board. Yes.
I thought you were talking about you.
Your staff,
awesome.
your staff also, top of the line staff. You have great people. I mean, when you walk into to Ripple, you feel at home and you feel comfortable, even just sitting out in front. I mean, you've created a great atmosphere. The music is great. The name Ripple. Let's talk about the name Ripple and where it came from. Let's all the myths. I know the truth. But
There
listen,
are
how do you
there
guys?
are some myths around where we got our name. I don't mean to throw him under the bus, but I'm gonna have to bring this up. My dad told me when we got really excited when we finally chose the name. I said, "Dad, the wine bar, it's named Ripple," and I had chills. The hair was sticking up on my arms. I was so excited. He said, "Kathleen, you need to fire your marketing people." He said that is the worst name for a wine bar ever. And I said, Dad, the marketing firm did not come up with the name. We came up with the name. And he immediately felt terrible, but he said, you know, Ripple is an old, so it's a rot gut, cheap, sweet, terrible wine.
Sanford and Son.
Yeah, exactly. And I knew nothing about it because it wasn't of my generation, but he said, you know, it was cheap and it wasn't good, and I can't believe you're opening a nice wine bar and you're naming it after a cheap, terrible wine. And I said, well, a lot of people did like it, but what's funny is that his generation now thinks it's really funny, and they have found a way to remember the old days and laugh about it and enjoy being in our space without drinking, you know, fortified sweet wine.
Right, now they have money.
But the real name came from, and I'll let Matt talk about this.
Me?
Yeah.
Well, the Grateful Dead, we're huge fans. We love the song Ripple for the meaning of life. If you feel free to Google it right now and bring up the lyrics by Robert Hunter, Ripple Wine, not Ripple Wine, Ripple. It's a great song. It also has a really nice Covington feel, Kentucky feel. We are right by the river, the ripple effect in Covington. We love it.
There's a piece inside of Ripple that not too many people know about. It's a vinyl record, an original vinyl record that he has one of the only copies of, and it's priceless. It's amazing. If you ever come to Ripple, you need to check out the 12-inch vinyl record that Matt has hanging in there.
And I have to, I know that you want to say something, but I have to jump in. You know, several years ago, I saw the space that you guys were moving into. It was an incredible space. The work that needed to be done was astronomical, but what they did to this space is unparalleled.
Yes.
And the service that they're offering around here is unparalleled. And I think anyone that walks into the door is lucky to be there and lucky to receive the service that they're offering. So you guys need to come, you need to experience what they're offering, you need to experience their food, you need to experience their wine. And as a bourbon connoisseur, I love bourbon, and they offer that too. So I don't know how much time we have, but I just respect the hell out of what they're doing because I've rehabbed a building, and I know what it takes to get where they are, and they're so positive and happy and gorgeous, and I respect the heck out of it. So I'm going to leave it to you guys.
Well, maybe, I know that if we are short on time, maybe one good way to wrap this up is, you know, Shannon spoke to bourbon, and we do have a full list, a full bar. You know, we have beer, we have bourbon, other spirits, and although we're wine focused, we still offer a little bit of everything for everyone. But to go back to why we named our bar Ripple, and one lyric that is in that song that we love is, reach out your hand if your cup be empty. If your cup is full, may it be again. And we like to use that as sort of a motto for our wine bar. So please come, let us fill your cup, and in any way, whether that's, or your bellies.
Right.
And you know, we love to have you in our bar and experience, you know, just the vibe, the drinks, the food, and our knowledge. We'd love to share that with you.
Well, thank you for coming down, and thank you for being a part of this. Bigger picture in Covington, and it's so good to have fellow dreamers like Matt and Kathleen and Shannon to share the dream with us and to make Covington a great destination place for you guys to come on any night of the week. And we love to see you soon down in Covington, Kentucky, the United States of America. We'll be back in 5 minutes.
Thanks, guys.
You're right.
Yeah, you guys are awesome.
Thank you.
And welcome back to This is Tarris. It was going to be This is something else, but we're not going to go there. This is Tarris, AskTarrisHorton.com. I'm here with my good friend, Show Me the Money, Shannon Show Me the Money Smith, right here to my left. How you doing? Thanks for being a part of this with me.
And I really do appreciate that you even invited me to talk to the folks that were here because they're primo people. So thank you. Thank you.
So your involvement with the city, if someone is wanting to come to Covington right now to be a part of what we've got going on, what would be the best practices and first steps? I know what I would tell someone. What would you tell someone?
Talk to me. I'm just kidding. But seriously,
Yes.
You need to contact the city of Covington. Our economic development team is absolutely incredible.
Yes.
There are things called opportunity zones. Those zones are unparalleled in the region. They allow the abolition of capital gains tax. Not only that, there are things beyond that. So just holler at us. Let us know what you want. We're happy to help you. We want you here. We want you to succeed. We're going to be invested in you. Just let us know. That's what I would say.
Awesome. I would say come as you are on any level. You could be someone who's never started a business before. There's programs out there for you to get started. You could be a business that could bring hundreds and hundreds of jobs to us. There's there's programs out there for you as well. And I would just say come with an open mind to Covington because, like I was stated before, we're not on that crap anymore. All that old school, good old boy stuff, it's over. As you can see, a person of color and a woman right here together, working together to make our community better.
That's right.
And our country better and our world better by spreading love.
That's right.
We're not no pushovers. If you mess with me, you got to go through my attorney. Right there. So just to know that.
Absolutely. And I just want to pop in for a moment and speak on the opportunities that you alluded to. The city of Covington offers very unique opportunities. There's an upper residential rehab opportunity, and you can receive up to $20,000 per floor. You can do rent subsidies. You can do a facade grant. You can work with the city, and you can receive abatements, and you could work with the city and talk about opportunity zones. The only thing that you need to do is have an open mind and don't have a closed mind. Regardless of your experience, don't close off. Talk to us. Tell us what you want. Tell him. Tell me. Tell the city. We are here for you. And that was the big reason that I wanted to be here, is to let you know there is opportunity, and I want to support that opportunity.
Awesome. And it's not just here in Central Business District either. There's Main Strasse that needs some attention. There's Latonia, Riddy's Corner. Riddy's Corner is probably the fastest growing neighborhood in Covington right now. And I used to work in Latonia for a long time. You talking some of the best people you'll ever meet from all walks of life that come together in a community and try to make the community better and Covington better as a whole. So, I mean, we've just got a lot. The East Licking Riverside with Smoke Justice and Blinkers and all the things over there. Covington is on the rise right now, and just come on in and join the momentum and join the rise of what we got going on.
Right, and the rise isn't just with businesses; it's with our parks and recreation. It's with our, public works and development. They're all trying to do fantastic things, and what we need from you is to tell us what you need so we can make it better. If you don't tell us, we can't make it better. And just a quick plug, I have to do a really quick plug. The entire city is working on a parks redevelopment master plan, and we need your input. We need to know if your slide is burning your ass, and I'm sorry if you have a aluminum slide. Yeah. So we need to know about the parks. We need to know about the monkey bars. We need to know about all of that. So if you have some feedback, please let us know. And I've talked to someone about an OCR thing that comes to Covington and is perpetually here. But we just need to know if it's good for you, if it's good for your kids. That's what we want. That's why we're here. That's why I'm serving you. I want to be a conduit for everyone, not just some person. So
It's awesome. And Shannon is available and touchable. You'll see her all over the place. She gets pulled from all different ways, and she handles it perfectly. I don't see how you do it personally, but I love what you're doing for the city. Also, our mayor is very touchable. You can see him walking around the city, and he's not someone, if you try to stop him and say, hey, Joe, do you have a quick second? He's not going to turn you away. He's not going to say, oh, talk to my assistant or go do this. He's going to take some time for you. I will say that about Joe. Also, I will say the Covington Police Department is the best police department in the nation. So I know in the communities, in some of the communities, because today I had a conversation with someone who was talking to me about something that happened on 26th Street. There was a shooting, and there's people who are afraid to come forward and talk about the shootings because they don't the connotation with the police is bad. I grew up that way. I grew up into thinking police were trouble. But if you're not doing anything wrong, you don't have to worry about anything with the police, and the police here in Covington are not going to profile you. If you see something that you could help, don't be afraid to come to me. I'll be the snitch. I won't use your name or anything like that. Come to me. We just want our community safe for everyone to walk the streets without have to worry about anything. We want to be able to protect your family and be safe and not have to worry about anything and be able to walk your dogs in peace.
I totally agree, and I just want to say that you all have a resource. He's a resource. I'm a resource. The entire reason that I ran for office was to be a resource, and I believe that that's the entire reason that Tarris even supported me was because I want to be a resource, and it doesn't matter who you are, where you are, I'm a resource. So please let me know. There's a ton of things that I can do, a ton of things that I'm working on, 26 things that people have asked me to do that I'm working on. But at the end of the day, I just want everyone that reaches out to feel like you have an advocate, because you do. You have an advocate in me and an advocate in Tarris.
Yes.
He's been a conduit for me when I wouldn't have had one otherwise. So I really appreciate all of you, whether or not you're just not just a citizen, but thank God you're a citizen, or if you're starting a business, I'm here for you, and Tarris is too.
And I'm gonna close on this quick fact. When Shannon was running for city commissioner, I came to her and I said, Shannon, let me do some things for your campaign as far as social media and marketing goes. You might not agree with everything that I do. You don't have to be connected with anything that I do, because my marketing is off the chains. I'm not conventional. I don't say the right things. But one thing that Shannon and I do together is we win. We win big. All we do is win. It doesn't look like we're winning, might not look like we're winning in the beginning, but everything that we're doing for the community, we're doing to win for you. It's not a win for us, but a win for us is a win for you. And I just want to take time and say thank you for believing in me, and that gave me the strength and the confidence to take my marketing abilities to the next level with AskTarrisHorton.com. That way we can have things like this, invite Libby's, invite Ripple, and who's next? Who wants to be next on This Is Tarris, AskTarrisHorton.com? All you have to do is contact me, or you can contact my attorney's office.
You can absolutely contact me. Happy to be contacted on business opportunities. But just want to say, if it has to do with the city, contact my city address and stay in touch with Tarris, because Tarris is the best community advocate that I've ever seen. So if you want to wrap us up, why don't you do that for us?
Awesome. Well, thanks for tuning in to the very first live podcast of AskTarrisHorton.com. This is Tarris, straight from the red dirt of Elizabethtown, Kentucky, all the way here in Covington, Kentucky, the United States of America. I am Tarris Horton, the most interesting man in the Commonwealth, Kentucky.
World.
And this is my dear friend Shannon, Show Me the Money Smith. And we'll see you next time, or I'll see you next time. She's invited anytime, but I'll see you next time for sure on This Is Tarris. Big shouts out to Rapid Media Group for doing everything, for producing everything.
Thank you guys so much.
Thank you.
You've
You
been
did a great job.
absolutely incredible. Can we, real quick, just get a huge applause for them, please?
Woo!
Woo, woo, woo! Thank you guys so much.
And we'll see you soon. Peace.
Thank y'all.